Hello, SFUSD juniors, and welcome to your presentation about financial aid. This slide deck is linked in the description box below. Today, you will learn more about what financial aid is, a timeline for what you should do during your junior and senior years, some common questions that may come up, and some false myths about financial aid. So starting with, what is financial aid? Financial aid is a broad term used to describe the money that you can receive to help pay for college. There are different types of financial aid. There's free money, also known as grants and scholarships, which is money given to you by the government or by private organizations that does not need to be given back. There is borrowed money, also known as loans, which if you choose to receive it, it will need to be repaid. And there's earned money, also known as work study, which is money you can earn towards your college fees by working on campus. There are different types of financial aid applications. All of them, minus the CSS profile, are free, so be careful that you're filling out the correct application online. Number 1, the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. This application can qualify you for money from the federal government. It is for U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and you must have a Social Security number to complete it. Number 2, the California DREAM Act looks exactly the same as the FAFSA, but it's for students who are undocumented, don't have a Social Security number, are DACA students, or are T or U visa holders, or students with temporary protective status. You must have completed 3 years of schooling in a California school, have a high school diploma, or a GED to complete the California DREAM Act application. This application can qualify you for money from the California state government. Number 3 is the CSS profile. Some private colleges may require you to fill out this application in addition to number 1 or number 2. This is the only application that may cost money, and the cost starts around $25. If you qualify for an SAT fee waiver, you can qualify to waive this cost. Please talk to your counselor for more information. How do you know if you have to fill out the CSS profile? Check the college's admissions and financial aid websites for the private colleges you are applying to. And finally, number 4, the Cal Grant A, B, and C. This application can qualify you for money from the state government and is based on your high school GPA from your 10th grade year through the summer after your 11th grade year, omitting PE and ROTC. The good news for SFUSD students, you do not have to fill out a separate application for the Cal Grant. Your counselor, in partnership with the SF Unified School District, submits this for you. Your counselor may ask you to verify information to make sure we're submitting the correct information, like your name and address. So always check your email for updates and be sure to submit your FAFSA or California DREAM Act early. So the question is, are you eligible for financial aid? First, let's talk about EFC. EFC stands for your expected family contribution. EFC is a measure of your family's financial strength and is calculated according to a formula established by law. It includes your family's taxed and untaxed income, assets, and benefits such as unemployment or Social Security, your family size, and the number of family members who will attend college. Remember, EFC is not the amount of money your family will have to pay for college, nor is it the amount of federal aid you will receive. How do you know if you're eligible for financial aid? This is the formula used to determine that. It is how much it costs to attend the college minus how much your family is expected to contribute. We call that EFC. Your financial need is then the balance amount that is not expected to be covered by your family and can be offered to you in the forms of grant, loans, and or work study. In this example, the college costs $50,000 to attend, and the student's family's EFC is $14,500. Therefore, their financial need that should be covered by financial aid is $35,500. Now let's talk about the things you should do during your junior year. In the fall semester, use your time to identify the colleges you want to apply to. This includes identifying safety schools. This can be your list of schools that you are most likely to get into, that are cost-effective, and may be in or near San Francisco. During the spring semester of your junior year, find some scholarships that you may want to apply to. There are some that are available to apply to as juniors. Also, you can do research on the government financial aid that you may qualify for. Click on the links in the slideshow. As an option, you can register for the SAT or ACT, but keep in mind that the UCs and the CSUs are not using it in consideration for whether or not you are admitted. They may only use it to help determine which college classes you qualify for, should you get in and attend their college. Currently, there are very few SAT testing sites due to COVID, and the ACT is working on creating an online exam that can be taken at home. In the summer, start opening up conversations with your adults who will be the ones assisting you with funding college. If you are on your own to pay for college, you will still need to report their taxes on your financial aid application. Some conversation starters can include: Hi, parent, part of college is figuring out how to pay for college. Do you file taxes? Do you have records of those taxes? I'll need them to fill out forms for my college applications. You and one of your legal parents should create separate FSA IDs. If you are filling out the California Dream Act, this is called a PIN. This will be yours and theirs electronic signature when submitting the FAFSA or California Dream Act application. If you encounter any challenges while creating an FSA ID, call those help numbers. Also, finalize your college list. It should include schools that are reach schools, so your dream colleges, which may be tough to get into, target schools, schools that you are most likely to get into, and safety schools, colleges that you know you're a shoo-in for. Attend virtual college fairs, visit websites, research their social media accounts, watch videos, and attend workshops. Your senior year is go time. The financial aid applications are available online starting October 1st, 2021 of your senior year. You should most definitely begin filling it out in October to submit early. Remember, you're filling out the 2022 to 2023 application because that's the year you'll be going to college. The official deadline is March 2nd, 2022. But if you wait till then to submit, there are ramifications that could complicate your college plans. There's a finite amount of government funding that supplies financial aid, and it is first come, first serve. Also, the earlier you submit your financial aid application, the earlier the college can receive it, analyze it, and give you a financial aid package with how much it will cost you to attend their college. In the spring, you want to have all financial aid packages in front of you for all the colleges you've applied to and been accepted to compare and contrast. This will help you decide where to go to college. Here's the timeline of your senior year. So again, when the FAFSA or DREAM Act applications are available in October, start working on them and submit. The earlier, the better. After you submit them, you will receive a student aid report, also known as a SAR, that will give you the basic information that you inputted. If you see a mistake, you can follow the directions to edit. You can also use the SAR to add more schools to your list of colleges receiving your financial aid application. If there is any potential for you to apply to a community college, be sure to include the community college on your list as well. In March, you will start receiving your acceptances to college. If you've submitted your financial aid application early enough, you should also be receiving your financial aid packages from each college. Use these reports to compare how much it will cost you to attend each college that you got into. If your family experiences an unexpected financial hardship that was not reflected in your financial aid application, you can always consult with the financial aid office of a college to see if your package can be adjusted based on this new information. By May 1st, you will have to submit your deposit to register at one of the colleges that you choose. Again, financial aid is based on a limited amount of money from colleges and government and is disseminated on a first come, first served basis. So the earlier you apply, the better. Get it done early, then you can focus on other things like your college applications, applying to scholarships, and doing well in school. To prepare for that October 1st date, here's a worksheet of all the documents you'll need and questions to answer to thoroughly prepare you for filling out the FAFSA or California Dream Act application. If you complete it prior to starting your financial aid application, you'll be ready to go. The checklist includes information you'll need to know about your family and also a list of the documents you'll need. Important information to know includes: were you ever in foster care? Because if you were or are, you qualify for even more aid. Whether or not you are homeless also can affect your financial aid. Hopefully, you've opened up conversations with your adults to figure out who is financially responsible for you and whether or not your family has any financial hardships. This is also where dependency status and household size is important to figure out, which we'll talk about next. Some documents you will need are listed here: your parents' tax return, the amount of money in checkings and savings accounts, and any investments that you may have. Dependency status is important to figure out because if you are considered a dependent student, you will need to provide information about your legal parents on the application. If you are an independent student, then you don't need to provide info about them. To figure out if you are independent, you must either have a legal guardian determined by a court of law or be an emancipated minor, also determined by a court of law, or you've been in foster care since you've turned 13, or you're homeless and not living with a parent, or you have children that you support financially, or you are on active duty with our military. If any of those descriptions in the orange boxes describe you, you are considered independent. If not, then you're considered dependent. So now that you've determined whether or not you are independent or dependent, if you are dependent, which parent's information do you have to report? First of all, let's define who your legal parent is. Your legal parent is your biological or adoptive parent or parents. There are many scenarios that determine whose info you'll have to report. I'll go over some of them, but if I don't describe your particular situation, please visit the resource page for more info. Okay, so if your parents are married, you report both. If they're not married but live together, report both. If your legal parent was never married or is widowed, you report only that parent. If they're divorced or separated and live apart, report who you live with for most of the time. If you live with them equally, then report only the one who financially supports you the most. If your legal parent remarried, you must report your step-parents' info. If you don't live with your legal parent, you still must report their info unless the adult you live with has legally adopted you. So if you live with your grandma, for example, but she is not your legal adoptive parent, you still have to report your biological parents' information. Remember that if you've been in foster care after you turn 13 or have a legal guardian determined by a court of law, you are considered independent and don't have to report the adult's information. Also to note, the FAFSA and California DREAM Act application do not ask about your parents' citizenship status, and the information you submit is not shared with any government immigration offices. You'll need to figure out your household size. To figure this out, you include yourself and your parent and any other adult or child that lives with you who the parent supports more than 50% financially. You do not include foster children or other people that your parent may support financially who don't live with you. For example, if your parent gives money to a relative who lives in another country, that person is not included in your household size. Here are some common myths about financial aid. I plan on going to CCSF, and CCSF is free, so I don't need to apply for financial aid. That is not true. Free City only covers the cost of tuition, but does not cover additional fees from CCSF. Applying for the FAFSA California DREAM Act could help you cover the cost of these additional fees and even qualify you for even more money and scholarships. Or how about this one? My parents, they make too much money, so I don't think I'll qualify for aid. There is no actual income cutoff to qualify for federal aid. In fact, there are multiple factors that are involved in determining what your aid amount is. You just never know, so apply. Did you know that on October 1st, 2021, you can apply for the FAFSA through your phone? Just scan the QR codes here to download the application and get started on October 1st of your senior year. Here is a resource page with some useful links like videos that can walk you through the application, different handouts explaining things in more detail, who to call or email for help. And remember, your best resource is your college or school counselor. Take advantage of workshops and resources that your school provides. And remember, do your personal best. Thank you for watching.